If you want to see the stars of the future, then look no further, because this is where it's at. 17 nations, 150 competitors, 3 sports. It's the 2018 FEI European Championships for Ponies at Bishop Burton College. Well, good morning. Welcome to the final day here at Bishop Burton College for these European Championships for Ponies. This morning, it's all about the pure show jumping. It's the final individual round. As always, Spencer Sturmey joins me, part of our commentary team. Spencer, this is the big one. This is the individual. Just talk me through the format this morning.
Well, it's 2 rounds of show jumping, and the course changes from round 1 to round 2. And Mark McGowan, once again, has designed a cracking track this morning, but 135, we've gone up in height. We may well go up in height in the second round to 140, but it's going to be really exciting. We've got so many combinations, and it's like a mini World Cup show jumping round. I mean, there's so many names in there, and watching them jump over the last few days, the standard is phenomenal.
They're going to go in reverse order. So last to go will be Nicole Lockhead-Anderson for Great Britain on Gangnam Style. She is the leader at the moment with no faults so far in the competition. Now, you mentioned Mark McGowan. He's over here. Come with me, because he's the course designer who has been designing some beasts here in East Yorkshire. He's got his measuring stick out. Good morning, Mark. What have you been concocting then for these poor riders this morning?
Well, it's an increase in height this morning, so the course is suitably testing. It's a bit more traditional than it was on Friday. The lines are a bit more open, a little bit more straightforward, or so it seems. However, the height and the width of the fences will obviously come into play.
So you've eased up on the mazy lines, which really caught them out in the Nations Cup, didn't they? But yeah, as you say, made them bigger and wider. So what height could these fences get to? Potentially
they can go to 1.40 m, which is just massive, isn't it? I mean, 1.40 m for pony jumping, but we have some of the best ponies in the world here, so for them that will be just a skip in the park. So.
And how are you enjoying this? Because it is kind of the ultimate. I know obviously it's ponies, but to be doing championship courses.
Oh, it's lovely. I mean, I'm very fortunate. I've done a few championships now, but I always get so excited, and it fills you with passion, and you get to see the best 5 ponies from all over Europe on your own doorstep, competing over your courses. It doesn't get much better than that.
Spencer, you've just whipped round the course like a hare, because we didn't have very long, because we've been doing the horse inspection for the eventing, etc. this morning. Which fence do you think Mark has designed will be the toughest for them?
Well, interesting that Mark says it's a little bit softer this morning. I walked it and didn't think it was. Mark, I think you've been quite tough on them.
I don't think I've been soft. I'm saying the lines are maybe a little bit more straightforward, and they were a little bit more bended and a little bit more technical on Friday. I think the height will make it, the jumping will come into its own because of the height and the width, so I don't think the track's soft. I just think the lines are a bit more straightforward, a bit more open.
Okay. Well, I mean, again, we've got the Olympic fence.
Well, I know. Actually, let's come and look at this, because there's real heritage here. I love this. I have a photo of me standing in front of this fence in Greenwich in 2012. And here it is at Bishop Burton. Mark, how have you got your hands on these amazing fences?
Well, very kindly, British Show Jumping offered me some fences to incorporate into the championships, and I couldn't resist the bus. I mean, as you've seen over the last 3 days of jumping, I've managed to mix and match the jumps and bring new jumps in each day. And I saved this for the very last day, and it was my vision of this fence riding to the water jump, so here it is, and it's on a kind of forward 6 strides into the water behind it.
So you've done, because we talked about this, didn't we, that traditionally you have the water which widens them out, and then you've got a vertical at the end of it. You've done the vertical to the big wide.
I haven't. I've done it off a different rein this time. On Friday they came off the left rein, on this one they came off the right rein. They still have a rather wide and very level oxer on the right-handed bend after the water, so I would imagine that oxer will be problematic for quite a few.
Now, I've just heard a bell. There is no horse in the arena, but on the basis we nearly got run over a couple of days ago, I think we're going to wrap it now. We're going to hand to Nick Wood in the commentary box. Spencer, you need to scuttle off there. Mark, thank you so much. Good luck today.
Thank you.
And we'll see what happens.
I hope so. Cheers.
Back to you, Nick.
Thank you, Lizzie. Thank you, Spencer. A very good morning from the commentary team And welcome to what promises to be a hugely exciting final day of the FEI European Championships for Ponies 2018, as we focus on the international arena here at Bishop Burton College in East Yorkshire, and we bring you all the live action this morning from the individual show jumping competition after the team competition on Friday, when the British team secured that brilliant gold medal with Sweden taking silver. And then of course we had that superb 4-team member jump off for bronze between France and Ireland, with France clinching that medal in the most dramatic way with the final pony to go in that jump off. Well, our first pony is forward, our first pony and rider forward for the first round of the individual show jumping competition. And forward for Ireland, the first to come forward of the 29 to come forward in this first round. It is the KWPN Calibre DE with Lucy Shanahan in the saddle for Ireland. And this combination bringing forwards a score of 21 from the 2 rounds from the Nations Cup team show jumping on Friday afternoon, and then the first round on the Thursday afternoon. So Calibre and Lucy Shanahan away over that upright to start with, and Mark McGowan, he's set a super track again at the maximum height for this first round at 1.30 m, as Spencer was saying. Well, as with the team competition, we have 12 numbered fences, 15 jumping efforts, but a totally different course for the individual ponies and their riders. Calibre and Lucy Shanahan over that British show jumping bus that Lizzie and Spencer were stood by. Great to see those fences here, and of course the British show jumping fences represented as well, with that double a little later on. Well, no faults to add so far, as Calibre DE and Lucy Shanahan take that big oxer, one of a number of big oxers, wide oxers, while just rolling a pole coming into the first part of the fence 11, but then seeing that really good stride at that last fence. Well, 4 it is for the first to come forward, Lucy Shanahan and Calibre DE, the first part of the treble, the penultimate fence going. So that takes Lucy Shanahan and Calibre DE onto a total of 25. Well, the time allowed. Well, my sheet not actually telling me the time allowed, so we'll find that out for you. We'll be back to you shortly with that. So the second competitor forwards, this time for France, and this is Fiona Tizier and All-Star. Well, Fiona Tizier and All-Star were the first combination to come forwards for the 2 rounds of that Nations Cup team competition on Friday afternoon, and they bring forward 20 penalties from those 2 rounds on Friday afternoon and that first round on Thursday afternoon. Well, we can confirm that the time allowed is 73 seconds for this first round. We will have a raised course for the second round for these individual riders, but the time set at 73 seconds with our with a length of course 425 meters, and our ponies traveling at approximately 350 meters per minute. So traveling around with and finishing on 4 faults, the second to come forwards, Fiona Tizier and All-Star for France. So 24 it is within that time limit. 24 it is for the 3 rounds, so for the 4 rounds so far for Fiona Tizier and All-Star. But just a reminder that as we had on Friday afternoon, our top 29 individual riders to come forward for this individual show jumping competition this morning will also jump over 2 rounds, provided they are not eliminated or retire during this first round. Well, now the turn for the first combination in this individual competition for Germany. This is Julie Thielen and Badman, the Oldenburg registered Badman, by Brinkham's helmet out of Magister. Forward with Julie Thielen, the third to come forward over that upright to start. And that's the next of those British show jumping fences that I was talking about. Fence number 2, that wide oxer, that white, red and blue oxer. Well, Julie Thielen and Badman, one of the many that we picked out during that team competition who looked so assured, so skillful. And we said it in the dressage, and we're saying again in the show jumping, they really look like professionals. And putting in that extra, yeah, commentator's curse, just putting in that extra stride there, going so well, but that upright, deciding to not want to go over that, Julie Thielen, and they were carrying 8 faults before then, but that stop at that fence meant we had a further, looking as though it may not have been classed as a stop, finding the 2 strides within the final 2 elements of the treble, and over they go. So 15 it is for the third to come forwards, Julie Thielen and Badman, and that as a result of those faults, plus some time penalties. Well, now it's the first of the British pairings, and it is Purdy Digby and Kaylee Starr, and they bring forward a total of 16. Well, what a day it was for the British on Friday, and Purdy Digby very much part of that team, but those individual scores being brought forward over the round on Thursday and the 2 rounds on Friday towards this individual competition today. Great day for the Brits. The Swedish, of course, taking the silver medal, and in that dramatic jump off, the French with the final pony to go, clinching that bronze medal. Well, as I was saying earlier, it promises to be another hugely exciting day here at the on the final day of the FEI European Championships for Ponies 2018 here at Bishop Burton College. For Great Britain, Purdy Digby and Kaylee Starr. And just to remind you, that time allowed of 73 seconds. This course not against the clock, but of course there is the time limit. And penalties being incurred for travelling around this 15 jumping effort course in excess of that time limit of 73 seconds. Well, clear so far for the first British combination to come forward. It's getting a little close into that oxer, but superb jump out, trying his hard out. Her hard out, the grey mare, Kaylee Starr. Super shot there at the water. Well, very positive as they were on Friday afternoon. No problem at all at the next to the big oxers. Well, coming into the penultimate fence, 3 elements to this penultimate. Just dragging his back legs over that upright in the middle. Kaylee Starr. But clear over the last, so 4 it is. And within the time of 73 seconds, so a total of 20 for the 4 rounds they've jumped for Purdy Digby and Kaylee Starr.
Interesting, Nick. We've had 4 combinations that have jumped so far, not one clear round. We spoke to Mark McGann, the course designer, earlier on. He said that he'd not softened the track, but made the lines a little bit easier than he did in the rounds the other day. Matilda Bolin and Mikla's Aristocrat next to jump for Ireland. But all the way around. I walked the course and the fences come up very quickly. A lot of related distances out there, but when I walked the treble combination down to the final fences 11A, B, C and 12, there you can just see the right hand side of your screen there. The treble is very open. It's just poles, not much filler in there, and real opportunity just to have a pull down coming towards home.
So the fifth of our competitors forward in the first round of this individual competition. For Sweden, Matilda Bolin, and the Grey Stallion, Miklas Aristocrat, bringing forward 16 faults. The next to bring forward 16 penalties from those rounds. In fact, 6 in total. We'll bring forward 16 from those initial 3 rounds.
Running in reverse order, the last 3 to go on 0. 1 for Denmark, 1 for Sweden, 1 for Great Britain.
Well, possibly a little lucky at the first 2 elements on that penultimate fence, but then just rolling the pole on the last element of that fence 11. So 20 it is. Another to have 4 and move on to 20 faults for the 3 rounds, but no problem with the time. Well, we're certainly moving through these ponies this morning for this reverse order European Championship final for the individual show jumping. And now the turn for Ireland. 2 Irish riders to come in succession. The first of those will be Katie Power, Frances Derwin to come next, but now Katie Derwin with the Irish sport horse Ghost Rider, owned by Power Equines Limited. Katie Power and Ghost Rider over the second fence. Very neatly over that double. And equally carefully over that oxer. Well, we're watching a good round here. Hope I haven't spoken too soon.
No, it's a very good round so far, but this is the line that's catching everybody out. She's jumped in well. My goodness me, she's ridden a very, very good round. That is the first clear of the day. Well, great round for Katie Power. Ghost Rider for Ireland. She'll stay on 16. We've had to wait for 6 riders before the first clear. Mark McGowan has certainly set. He thought it was, I keep using the word softer. It's not softer. It's a very, very technical track. He doesn't seem to think so, but he's a great, great course builder, and he doesn't really know his own talent. It's a very testing track out there, very, very, very tough, and the distances are all there to be ridden. Frances Derwin now, Calbound Mistress for Ireland. Fano from the very famous Derwin dynasty over in Ireland. Great producers of young horses. They sell a lot of horses in the world of show jumping and eventing. And along with Frances's father, Francis, Carol G, they certainly source and sell many, many top class event horses all around the world, as well as show jumpers. Well, good round so far. That British show jumping bus from the London 2012 Olympic Games. So good to have it here. British show jumping supplied a number of these fences, as well as Cheshire Johanna. Such a professional, these young riders, so mature. Watching them is like watching a World Cup show jumping final or a Nations Cup. That difficult combination out of the way. Ireland have already jumped to clear round with Katie Power, and so does Francis Derwin. Great round there. He stays on 16. Calban Mistress, she answers all the questions.
Well, two hugely impressive rounds there from our two Irish riders, Katie Power and then Francis Derwin. And as Spencer was saying earlier, those fences coming up really quickly, some tight turns off the corner, and you really get the idea of that. We can see it when the ponies go around, but when you walk this course, you really get an idea of how quickly these fences are coming up one after the other.
Yeah, remembering 135, the height of these fences, 1 metre 35, and these ponies ranging from 138, just 3 centimetres taller than these fences, to 151. So, you know, they're tiny, from 13.2 to 14.2, jumping around a huge track, and it's going to get bigger in the second round.
Yep, it is, Spencer, as we welcome forward for Italy, Lorenzo Caridu and Tamar, this chestnut bear by Odenbank. This 12-year-old Tamar. And the next of the riders to come forward with 16 faults from the 3 rounds that we've jumped. That round on Thursday afternoon, and then the 2 rounds for the Nations Cup for the team competition on Friday. And that tape you can see in the water, or at the edge of the water. And if those ponies, whoa, and another 2 get close into that upright, but jumped it, but then just couldn't get back for that big oxer. Well, the second we've seen to put in that extra stride at that upright. So that is 8 for the upright going down, and then that stop at the oxer. And also the oxer going down as well. So 12 it is so far.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate because he was riding a really good round until then. But having walked it, you know, a number of times, there the back rail goes of the treble combination as well. And time faults, so it is 20 penalties in total for Lorenzo Corrado and Tamar. For Italy, takes his score on to 36.
Well, now the 10th rider to come forward on her pony for Germany, Karim van Orkis S, this chestnut stallion by Gansheber. So with a ranking of 21st in this individual competition, as the 10th to come forward in this reverse order individual show jumping, Johanna Beckman and Karim van Orkid S, the second of our German riders to face our show jumping judges, and this course of 12 fences, 15 jumping efforts.
Yeah, first combination coming forward on 14, as you say. Very impressive over the last couple of days.
Well, yep, our apologies is for Belgium, Martha van Gorp and Goliath van der Groenweg. Apologies for that. It is for Belgium, Martha van Gorp and Goliath van der Groenweg. Well, no problem for our combination from Belgium. That big white upright, and seeing that stride perfectly into the oxer. Now at the penultimate fence.
It's certainly been one of the bogey fences as well, coming down that final line, 11 A, B, C and 12, but a great clear round for the Belgian rider Martha van Gorp.
So our third clear, this time going to Martha van Gorp and Golaya van de Groenwijk of Belgium. Well, now forwards. It is forwards for Germany, the second of our German riders, Johanna Beckman and Karim van Orkides, this chestnut stallion. Well, this combination brings forward 13 penalties, denoting 12 faults for the 3 rolled poles, and that 1 time penalty.
Well, 10th to go of the 29 starters here in the European Championship final. And remember, 2 rounds of show jumping. We come again into the second round. It will be a different course as well that Mark McGowan has designed, and maximum heights in that second round. He thinks he will go up to 140, making a real competition and a real climax to this show jumping final. Well, certainly getting in the air over the first few fences. Johanna Beckman and Karim van Orkides for Germany. Remember the medals for the team: Great Britain, Sweden and France. France with that phenomenal jump off. The last to go, they were just split, France and Ireland, by 1 second, less than 1 second for that bronze medal.
Well, the combination that came forward with 13 penalties into this round today, and just knocking that final element of the treble. So a further 4 it is to add within the time. So 13 plus the 4, so that is 17, a total of 17 for the 4 rounds for Johanna Beckman and Karim van Orkides for Germany. Well, now for the Netherlands, also bringing forward 13 penalties from the initial 3 rounds. Liv Huberts and Enzovoort Dewdrop. It's Greg Elding by Anthem Dewdrop. Liv Huberts and Enzovoort Dewdrop, the first combination to come forward for the Netherlands. 2 combinations to come forward in this individual competition. It is the top 29 coming forwards after the initial 3 rounds, that first round on Thursday afternoon, and then the 2 rounds of the Nation Cup team competition on Friday afternoon. These are the top 29 individual scores, running in reverse order, as Enzovoort Dewdrop is clear so far over the British show jumping fence and down over the water. Well, that front foot looking very close.
It was very,
and it is 4 faults on that tape at the edge of the water. 4 faults.
It was very close indeed. It was a real shame, because it's been jumping very well on the whole all around the course. And it's frustrating, we've mentioned it before, but frustrating as a rider when you come around a course of 130 that it was on the first day to 135, and then you just have a foot in the water. But she's had the middle part of the treble down as well. In fact, the last part of the treble down, 11C. So a total of 8 in 70.60, that time allowed, 73 seconds. 8 it is, they move on to a total of 21.
Well, that penultimate fence, 3 elements to it, playing its part again in this first round of the individual show jumping competition here at the FEI European Championships for Ponies 2018 at Bishop Burton College. Well, now the second rider forwards for Belgium. This is Aaron Tiskens and Superbe de Liliona. And again, looking every inch the senior professional.
They really are mini pros. Kind of tall young rider. Easy to forget. We've been watching ponies now for 5 days. That they are ponies. They are 13.2 to 14.2, and your eye just adjusts, and you think you're watching many horses. They are many horses, and the riders in the dressage. We've been live streaming dressage, eventing, and the show jumping, and certainly watching a number of them go cross country. You had to keep scratching your eyes and just remembering that they are tiny, tiny ponies. And these riders aging from 12 to 16.
Now that upright going caused a few problems for the first 12 to come forward this morning, as has this penultimate fence, the 3 elements to it, but no problem for Untitled for Belgium. But it is 4 from that upright, so 4 to add to that 12, so 16 it is that Untitled and Superbe de la Leona will carry forwards to the second round of the individual show jumping competition. Well, now Germany's turn again, and this is Bo Chiara Gronig with Chessie 18, another of the Oldenburg bred horses by Victoria Skoland out of Apslo. Chessie 18 with Bo Chiara Gronig for Germany in the saddle.
Yeah, they jumped really well in the first 2 rounds. It's unfortunate they had the 12 jumping penalties, because when we watched them over rounds 1 and 2, they certainly impressed in the arena. I wouldn't be surprised, well, maybe commentators curse, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did jump better today. They've had one pulled down already.
Well, that foot definitely in the water there, putting up a bit of a fight. Chessie 18 going to that water. Bo Chiara Gronig doing her very best to bring the pony back, find the correct stride, but Chessie definitely putting a foot on that tape, and that reflected, of course, in the 8 faults that you can see being carried forwards down over the 3 elements of this penultimate fence, beautifully over that treble there, and equally as fluently over that final fence. So 8 it is. 8 it is for the German combination of Bo Chiara Gronig and Chessie 18.
Next to go, the 14th combination out of the 29 that come forwards. It is Fairy Tale 33 and Leah Sophia Gutz for Germany. They bring forward 12. A 7-year-old mare, Fairy Tale 33, Leah Sophia Gutz for Germany.
Well, we understand that John Magnier is here to watch his grandchildren, the Watchman brothers for Ireland. John Magnier, one of the, I was going to say, founder members of the Coolmore Empire. And what a phenomenal success Coolmore has become. That breeding operation, Ballydoyle, of course, the training operation in Ireland for the racehorses. And, of course, on the training front now, it's not just Aidan O'Brien who is producing those Group 1 winners on the flat and those Grade 1 winners over the jumps, but also son Joseph, who did so well in the saddle himself, particularly, of course, on the very fine horse Camelot. It is a clear. Super clear, giving us our 4th clear. Fairy Tale 33 and Leah Sophia Gut for Germany. Well, we've had 2 riders from Germany forward in succession, and after our next rider we will be welcoming forward another rider from Germany. But first of all, it is the turn of Twinkle Toes Alluin and Liane Desmure for France, and they come forward also with 12 from the first 3 rounds of show jumping. Madame Christina France, Twinkle Toes Alluin, this bay gelding by Zodiac's NRPS, the NRPS registered Zodiac's SL. So our second combination to come forward for France, Liane Desmure and Twinkle Toes Alluin, are carrying 4 faults so far. We're just having a little look after the wide upright, almost jinxing slightly to the left, but great correction there from Liane Desmure. And again, really positive riding down this last line, but unfortunately both the second and third elements of that penultimate fence going. So it is 12, it is a total of 12. 12 to add to the 12 faults that they brought forward, so a total of 24 it is for the combination for France, Liane Desmure and Twinkle Toes Alluin. Well, now Germany once again, and this is Malien Repère with Minerva for play. Bay gelding by 4 Next Generation out of Dunvand. And they bring forward 9 penalties from those initial 3 rounds. Those 2 rolled poles and then 1 time penalty. So a total of 9 it is. Just reining back, just asking Minerva Foreplay to really listen, focus on this course ahead, this fabulous course. 12 numbered fences, 15 jumping efforts, that's double, and then the treble combination, the penultimate fence. Well, a really good shot there at 3 of the horse moving over that fence, and it's tied off that corner. I really noticed just how tight it was off that corner when I walked it. We talked about those fences coming up particularly quickly, but particularly tricky off that corner, and we await for our course party, for our arena party to replace those poles, but 4 it is, 4 faults for that stop, and of course that will mean that our combination for Germany will also be getting time penalties. 73 seconds allowed, but that will not allow for a refusal or a stop. Well, safely over when presented for the second time. Close in, but tried very hard and cleared that red wall. Foot in the water, so 8 it is. That stop, and now that foot in the water, so 4 faults for each, 8 faults. And again, I felt just having a look at that white upright, but good riding by Malin Ripper, positive riding, and problems again. So 2 stops, and under the FEI rules, that is elimination, unfortunately. 2 faults it is, 2 stops it is, and that second stop at the second part of the penultimate fence, the treble. So, Malin Ripper and a bit of a foreplay for Germany, unfortunately being eliminated. Well, now the first of the second of the combinations forward for Great Britain. This is Hannah Barker with Annabelle Santino. Well, Hannah Barker, of course, from the very famous Yorkshire show jumping family, and wonderful heritage, and very much here on home soil here in East Yorkshire. Hannah Barker and Annabelle Santino, not actually part of the that fabulous British team that won gold on Friday, but as an individual rode on the Thursday, and then in those 2 rounds of team competition, which led them to arrive at the 8 faults that they bring forwards to this individual competition. They were super rounds, and just rolling a pole in each of those rounds. Well, with what we have seen over the last, over the first 3 rounds of competition, and what we are seeing so far, I think Spencer, British show jumping looking in good hands moving forwards.
Yeah, they certainly are. Claire Whitaker, the chef de keep of the pony team, has got a wonderful task, probably a hard task actually, just trying to find and choosing between the great selection of young riders coming up through the grades. Hannah Barker jumping clear so far, turning down to this difficult line now. 11 ABC. Oxer upright, has the middle part down, as so many have, and on to the final fence. Just the 1 fence down, 67.49. So that takes their score on to 12 now.
So total score on to 12, and that penultimate fence, the treble combination fence, playing its part again in this first round of the individual show jumping championships here at the Pony Europeans.
Well, down into the final 11, it is Molly Hughes Bravo, Carrigaduff Pets, number 143, 18th to go, and we've still only had 4 clear rounds in this European Championship final for individuals. Carrigaduff Pets, Molly Hughes Bravo for Portugal, 10-year-old black mare by Royal Touch, owned by Marion Hughes. 8 they bring forward from the previous jumping rounds. Jumping really well, looking confident. To the Olympic bus, that red London bus, and quickly onto the water. Ooh, that was close.
Very.
It is 4.
Yeah, the water and now the tray, 2 very influential fencers thus far in this first round. And now perhaps the most influential fence. And yet again the middle element going, that upright. Just rolling that pole of that green upright. So a total of 8. Total of 8, the water and the middle element of that penultimate fence for Molly Hughes Bravo and Carrigaduff for Portugal. So 8 to add to the 8 that they brought forward. 16 it is for our combination for Portugal. Well, now the turn of the Bay Stallion for the Netherlands. Zeppie van der Isdedijk and Pam Nieuwenhuis. And one of a number of stallions we've seen come forward in the show jumping as we did in the dressage. Another super looking pony. This time for the Netherlands with Pam Nieuwenhuis in the saddle. Well, that grandstand really starting to fill up now. Great crowds we've had around these arenas. Wonderful support. Great crowd. Well, once again, a fabulous shot of Zeppi van der Isdijk moving towards that big oxer. That's the view the pony gets. That is the view that Pam Nieuwenhuis gets. And really giving an idea of the scope of these fences, the height and scope of these fences. Well, fortunately that the next of those oxers going down. So 4 it is as they move forward and take a huge leap at the water. Very positive and no problem at the water. Huge jump over it and clear in fine style at the other side, nowhere near that tape. Beautifully through that combination. Well, that was a good round. What a good round, and what a pity. Hey, 4 faults it is. Well, we think it is the first pony to fault at that particular event. What a shame, it was a super round, but 4, that is what the score will be for this combination at the end of the first round of the individual competition. So 4 to add to that 8 for Pam Nieuwenhuis and Zeppi van der Isdijk.
Shawnee Grigg now next to jump, Casino Royale for Great Britain, part of that gold medal winning team on Friday. Jumped seriously good rounds. The British team, after the third member had gone, they knew they had the gold in the bag. Great news for Team GBR. And of course the event riders also sitting in gold overnight and individual gold as well, with Safi Osborne sitting in gold with Little Indian Feather. We'll bring you all of that live here on the live stream this afternoon. They're bringing forward just 4 penalties. It's so tight at the top, and even though we're now into the top 10, 4 penalties can be so influential. Ooh, an enormous jump at the water, and then this turn back to the oxer. Jumps that well. Great Britain are on flying form. Claire Whitaker, the chef de keep of the British pony team, very proud with their gold medal on Friday. We had to wait quite a long time. Waited till 8:30 in the evening through the treble. Well, that is safely done. On to the last fence. Gets a little bit close, jumps it though, and well inside the time allowed. 68.41. It's clear for Great Britain.
Clear, a magnificent round, another magnificent round of show jumping for Great Britain, this time for Shawnee Grigg and Casino Royal. So they stay on that 4 that they brought forward from those first 3 rounds. Well, as Spencer said, we're into the top 10 now, and now for France, also bringing 4 penalties forwards to this first round of the individual competition. This is Monsieur André Madeleine's Quabin de Monceau, ridden by Raman Aufont. Another entire base stallion by Nabour out of Rezoir. Just showing how well these ponies cover the ground, because the time, providing the ponies haven't had a stop, the time has been very achievable. We saw that in the team competition on Friday, and we're seeing it again now. Well, this pony jumping beautifully. The combination 4 rounds, Romain Oran and Robert Demonceau. But as we said that, yeah, we think it's all right. We think that was all right.
It was very close. But they're just checking, the stewards are there checking, but I think she just about got away with it. In fact, I think there's a red flag there. No flag, no flag. So it was clear, 68.69 for France.
Well, it is good news for France. Romain Oran and Robert Demonceau clear. So just the 4 penalties in total. Those are 4 penalties from the initial 3 rounds. Well, now it's the turn of the first of the Watchman brothers. We were saying that Grandpa John Magnier here to watch his 2 grandsons, Tom and Max Watchman, and Coolmore show jumping. I was talking earlier about the Coolmore operation racing, but now starting to put a lot of money into the show jumping, and I'm sure with his 2 grandchildren, 2 extremely capable grandchildren, I'm sure that money will keep flowing into Coolmore show jumping. They are the stars of the future, I'm sure, of Irish show jumping. Tom Watchman and Caprice Destré. Well,
that was naughty.
It was.
Very, very naughty indeed. Caprice Destré just ducks to the left of the 3rd fence. That unusual, because this combination have been jumping exceedingly well. Don't know what that was all about, but it is 4, and there will be time as well now. Expensive round for Tom Watchman. His brother Max comes in 2 ponies' time. That is the 2nd refusal and elimination. Oh, that a real surprise. 2 refusals in the 4th round. Elimination. He will not take any further part.
Yeah, huge surprise. Well, Caprice Destré just obviously not wanting to play today, as we welcome forwards for Italy. Our next combination for Italy, Bianca Chiocca and Safi de Cormier. Another of the stallions to come forward, this Bay Stallion by Thunder. So Bianca Chiocca and Safi de Cormier having a foot in the water. Now the locks are going down as well, so 8 in total it is. And once again, that upright not being liked by our ponies. They have a...
Yeah, I think Nick, you know, with 130 in the 3rd round, we've gone up a hole now, 135, and it's just catching a few of these ponies out. Total of 16 jumping there for Bianca Chiocca for Italy. Real test to these ponies, because it is bigger and it's going to get even bigger.
Yeah, we're up from 130 on Friday to 135. Huge fences for these ponies. Well, now the 2nd of the Watchman brothers, and it is Casgrange Cavalladiam, this Irish sport horse. Bay mare, 13 years old, by Louis Dam. Also bringing forwards 4 faults from those first 3 rounds. For Ireland, Max Watchman and Casgrange Cavalier-Dam. So, let's see how Max Watchman, the second of the Watchman brothers, gets on. Absolutely no doubting the assured skill of these 2 young riders, as we see with so many of these young pony riders. Oh, clear so far. No problem at the water. Well, this last influential line, but a great round so far. Well, equally well. Magnificent over that last fence. Equally well over the final 4 jumping efforts for Max Watchman and Casgrange Cavalier-Dam. So nothing to add to that 4 faults that they brought forward from those initial 3 rounds. Super round, giving us our next clear.
Well, it's certainly hotting up because we've now got 3 combinations on 4 penalties. 1 for Great Britain, 1 from France, 1 for Ireland. We now go into the final 5 riders, and the last rider on 4 penalties is Claudia Moore with Orlando van der Rooshoeven. They bring forward 4 penalties in 5th place. 14-year-old mare by Rebus G. We go down then into the final 4, and it's Sweden, Denmark, Sweden, Great Britain, with very little between the top 5, but 3 clear rounds on 4 penalties. 1 fence down is so influential.
Absolutely jumping like a stag over the double, and then that big oxer. Oh, got close in, but a clever pony. Clear of the water. What an honest pony. Well, didn't blink an eye, this pony coming in to that big wide upright, and then the oxer. We've seen a number. Just having a look at that wide upright. What a round for Claudia Moore and Orlando van der Rooshoeven. So they stay on the 4 that they brought forward into the first round of this individual show jumping competition. What a round, jumping out of her skin. The Rivers side, Orlando van der Rooshoeven. Great riding from Claudia Moore, with 4 left to come forward in this first round.
Yeah, what a great round there from Claudia Moore for Great Britain. The Brits are on fire. We've got 1 more Brits on a 0 that will be last to jump in reverse order this European Championship final for the individual competition. We now move on to Sweden, and 1 time penalty. They bring forward Fanny Kulmer and Voxpop Delon, 9-year-old stallion. And they just bring forward 1, and that's where the medals can be decided. 1 time penalty is incredibly expensive. We've got 3 on 0, but at the moment we have 4 on 4. So that one fence down can change everything as we move into that final round. Down into the final 4. It's interesting, the water been very influential today. A lot of toes in the water. They put it on a different line. They've come off of a different rein this time as well, and then turned back to the oxer. We had in round 2 and 3, we jumped the water and then turned right to a treble combination. They were really finding that quite difficult. But this is the difficult line. This is certainly the bogey line in the show jumping. Clear so far though. And if they can just hold on to 1, they do, and they're kicking a buck to finish. 70.27, they're inside the time allowed. They stay on 1.
Well, Fanny Kumar and Vogt Pop Delon starting to really stamp their presence. Just that 1 penalty from those first 3 rounds, and now clear. So 1 from the 4 rounds, having now gone clear in the first round of this individual championship. Well, now the rider from Denmark and our top 3 to come forward, carrying 0 penalties from the first 3 rounds. Well, this is for Denmark. This is Maria Nørgaard Langhoff riding Nicolina. And what a fantastic story this is. Nicolina been to 10 European pony championships, this time with Maria Nørgaard Langhoff for Denmark in the saddle. An amazing story. And here they are in the first round of the individual show jumping championship today in 2018.
Jumps that very influential water just about day. In fact, they have, just watching the stewards, they have put the flag up. So that is 4 for Denmark. That drops her, well, it won't, actually it won't move her too much because there's a number of combinations on 4, but now the treble has gone as well. That is a total of 8.
Well, clear coming into this first round of the individual competition, but 8 it is for Maria Nørgaard Langhoff and Nicolina.
Nicolina, that's the first first 2 penalties she's had in this competition. She's jumped 3 clear rounds so far in their 7th consecutive European Championships. I think they've, I think Nicolina been in 10 European Championships, and this is their 7th consecutive European Championships here at Bishop Burton College. Well, now just 2 left to go.
Yeah, 2 left to go, and the first of those 2 for Sweden, Ingemar Hamstrom, and the bay gelding by VE Rouge, the bay gelding Ocean de As. Ingemar Hamstrom for Sweden. As we've said, carrying forward 0 penalties from those first 3 rounds. Once again, you can get an idea of the great crowds here and the support at Bishop Burton College. Great support that we've seen over the first 4 days of competition. Another of those great shots at fence 3. That's the view that our pony and riders see. Well, jumping fluently, beautifully so far. Ingemar Hamstrom on Ocean de As. Well, it really is worth saying once again, it is like watching a top senior pro. So assured over that those two fences there.
This is where the nerves come into play, because one fence, as we said, we keep saying one fence down means that the difference between a medal, and he's jumped clear, so he puts the pressure on. He goes into first place. Second now Sweden is Fanny Kelmer and Vox Pop Delon, but he is in the lead so far. Nicole Lockhead Anderson, Gangnam Style the second, is last to go, also on clear for Great Britain. Here she is. She'll really be feeling the pressure now. Nicole Lockhead Anderson, the very last to go of the 29 competitors that come forward. Gangnam Style the second on a score of 0. They've not had a pull down over the last 3 rounds. But now we are up 1 hole, 130 the first 2 rounds, 3 rounds. Now we're at 135. We could even go to 140 maximum in the last round.
Here we go. The final combination to come forward in this first of the 2 rounds of the individual show jumping competition. Nicole Lockhead Anderson and Gangnam Style the second.
He's a pony that always makes me a little bit nervous when I watch him show jumping, because he's very, very keen to get on with his job. I always think he's going to run himself into a little bit of trouble, but he's so clever, and Nicole knows him so well. Oof. That was very quick. Coming to this Oxer, jumps that beautifully. You see there, he fights in between his fences, doesn't make her job easy, but he is very, very good when he gets to a fence. Coming down this final line then, time is going to be okay. This could be difficult. She's... oh, it's still there. It bounced about a metre out of the cups, but it is in the cups. She will be leading along with Ingemar Hammerstrom. She is in the lead, though, going through into the 5th and final round. Nicole Lockhead Anderson, Gangnam Style the second. Jump a fabulous clear round. Claire Whitaker, the chef de keep, will be absolutely delighted with that. Well, we go on a break now for an hour, but before we do, let's hand you over to Lizzie Greenwood-Hughes.
Well, thanks, Spencer. What a first round. And I've got Shawnee Gregg. What an amazing first round, Spencer. I've got Shawnee Gregg and her mum here for me. I'm very luckily just grabbed you two. Thanks for joining me. Shawnee, first of all, another brilliant clear round for you. Well done.
Yeah, I jumped really well. It's really good.
You look, bless you, look so nervous. I sort of feel bad even speaking to you. What are you going to do now? Because you've got an hour's break. What do you do with the pony? What do you do?
Just leave him intact and let him chill out.
And did you give any advice to Nicole? Because obviously you were the second to go, weren't you?
No, I never really seen her. So, no, but she jumped a good round, so.
All right, well, look, you go off and get your pony. I'm going to have a quick chat with your mum, if that's all right. What's your name, Mrs. Gregg?
I'm the grandma, I'm Anne.
Oh, you're the granny, I'm sorry.
I'm the grandma, yeah. Just delighted to be here. I think Shawnee's really worked hard the whole year to be with Casino. He's a super pony. We've had him 2 years now, and it's just been a lifetime achievement for us.
Great competition. The first few made it look really difficult, and it is a difficult track, there's no doubt about that. But the last lot, they just made it look much easier than it was, really, didn't they?
Yeah, I think we've had a lot of Mark McGowan's courses over the last few months with the premiers and stuff, which has helped some of us. He's very technical, he builds it to catch you out, and I think familiarisation of jumping these tracks has helped us.
OK, well, look, you need to go and do your granny duties. Okay. Put an arm around Shawnee. She's looking very nervous. She was much kind of more chatty after winning that team gold a couple of days ago. Well done to you. One more round to go. We've got an hour's break here now at the International Arena. So, as Shawnee said, the ponies will just be kept quiet, tack off, maybe the odd carrot, Not sure. And then they're all brought out here again for an hour's time for the second round of this individual show jumping competition. There will be medals. Who they go to, we don't know. But the last few, particularly the Swede and Nicole, last Brit, they made it look a lot easier than it really is in there. Join us then in an hour's time here at Bishop Burton College for the Pony European Championships show jumping individual.
A very warm welcome back to the FEI European Championships for Ponies here at Bishop Burton College for all the live stream action for the reverse order second round of the individual show jumping competition over a raised shortened course. Well, let's have a look at this leaderboard after that first round for the individual competition, and leading the way with no penalties to bring forward from the previous rounds for Great Britain, Nicole Lockhead Anderson and Gangnam Style the second. Also on 0 points, penalties to bring forward, Ingemar Hamstrom with Ocean de As for Sweden. Sweden in joint first and third place at the moment with Vox Pop Delon and Fanny Culimur with just one penalty to bring forward to this second round for the individual competition. Then for Great Britain, it is Elando van der Rooshoff and Claudia Moore, the British, of course, having a wonderful show jumping championships here, having taken team gold on Friday afternoon. Then it is Max Watchman and Casgrange Cavalier with just 4 faults for Ireland, Max Watchman. Then Roman Ohant and Quabar de Monceau for France, 4 faults again. 4 it is also for Great Britain's Shawnee Grieg and Casino Royale. And then in 8th place, Marie Nurgaard Langhoff with Nicolina, that veteran of the championships, on 8 penalties. Well, we're going to have a really good look at this shortened raised second round for the individual competition with my co-commentator Spencer Sturmey.
Yeah, Mark McGowan set a really tough track out there, and maximum height of now 138, 140. And some of these ponies are smaller than the fences. They start off over the Oxer at 1. There's a little bit smaller, 135, the Oxer. And from the Oxer on a slight right-hand curve, they go to the upright at 2. The ponies then swing left-handed to the triple bar, that ascending bar at 3. The ascending bar just here at 3, the butterfly wings, and then it's a related distance down to the treble combination at 4, A, B and C. The British show jumping treble, it's upright, upright, and Oxer on the way out. Swinging left-handed, they come to the Liverpool at 5 with a water tray underneath. And then swinging left-handed again, they come to another related distance at 6 and 7. Upright at 6, and then it is 5 strides down to the upright at 7. And then right-handed to the orange double. It's 2 very big Oxers at 8A and 8B. Right-handed again, it's on a related distance down to the Dubarry fence at 9. Left-handed, they come to the final fence. It's the Oxer at 10. Well, running in slight reverse order. There's a few combinations going out of order, but it is first to go. Lorenzo Cordio with Tamar for Italy. The first to go. They start in 27th place on a score of 20. Well, in fact, they start in a score of 36 is their total.
.67 seconds allowed for this second shortened racetrack for the second round of the individual show jumping competition. Lorenzo Corredo with Tamar, the chestnut mare, by Aucamben for Italy. And 20 penalties it was in the first of the 2 rounds for the individual competition. Total of 36 to bring forward from the 4 rounds that our riders have jumped so far.
Well, to this Oxer at 1, and then on the slight right-handed turn to the upright at 2. Remember, these fences, maximum height 1 metre 40 in height. A lot of these ponies measuring under 140, they're nearly as big as the ponies. And this is a very interesting line down here from the ascending spread to the treble combination. Really opens the ponies up to then have to be condensed down. And that is the trouble there. 2 fences down, 8 penalties to add already. So by opening them up, Mark McGowan has set a real challenge to the treble combination. They need to be very concertinaed up into a ball before that treble combination. Turning round now to the double, 8A, 8B. Very big wide oxes. The maximum width of these oxes, 1.45 meters. So not only they are 1.40 meters in height, but 1.45 wide. Coming round to the final fence, the oxer at 10, the last fence, so it is a total of 13. He's over the time allowed as well, so picking up 1 time penalty, 12 jumping, 1 time for the first to go.
Well, one of the few that we've seen to actually incur time penalties. Obviously, those time penalties have been incurred once a run out or a stop has been incurred, but 67 it is the time allowed for this second round.
Yeah, it is difficult. The time has changed. It's a different course this time, and I spoke to Mark McGowan in the arena. Julia Tillien next to go, bad man for Germany. But the time has changed, the course has changed, and he said that he was going to really tighten the screws up on this second round to really sort the men from the boys, or the girls, or the women from the girls, because it is a championship, it is the final round of this individual show jumping competition, and it is already proving. We've had the first to go with time penalties. They will know that in the warm-up. The chef d'equipes will be talking to their riders and saying, look, you don't have to, you can't meander around this course, you have to get on with the job in hand.
Yep, very much so. This is the very best of European pony show jumping, and this the second of the 2 individual rounds for our combinations. So forward for Germany, Thielen and Badman, this Oldenburg by Brinkham's helmet. Really tried that over the British show jumping treble. 10 fences, 13 jumping efforts courtesy of the double and that treble combination. Now those 2 wide oxers in front of the marquee, under the VIP marquee.
Round to this final fence, time is looking just about okay, 67 seconds, but the last fence goes, 66.35, 4 penalties to add. Well, in fact, it is 8, not the score that's on your screen, so 2 fences down, 8 to add.
So faults being incurred by our first 2 pony and riders to come forward. First for Italy, then for Germany. Well, now it is the turn of Ireland, and it is the turn of Lucy Shanahan and Caliber DE, this Dutch warm blood, coming forward with a total of 25 penalties from those initial 4 rounds. Those 4 rounds were the first individual, the first round on Thursday afternoon, and then the 2 Nations Cup team rounds on Friday afternoon, and then the first of these individual show jumping competitions rounds a little earlier this morning. And 4 faults for Lucy Shanahan and Caliber DE in that first round earlier this morning of the individual competition.
Well, this difficult line from the ascending spread, that triple bar, down to the treble combination. It has the front rail of the oxer coming out. That is going to be the line that's going to test them. It's almost like having a water jump and then an upright following a water jump. You have the open spread and then you have that treble combination. And the riders really have to sit the horses and ponies back on their hocks to get them really athletic through that treble combination. And remember, they've jumped 1 round already and they're getting a little bit tired. A lot of jumping here over the last 3 or 4 days for these ponies. So carrying 4 penalties as they come to the last fence. Time's going to be tight as well. She's going to have a time fault, that is for sure. So it is 4 jumping 1 time in a time of 70.28. They finish on 30. Is the best score that we've seen so far for Lucy Shanahan and Caliber D. It's a Dutch-bred 11-year-olds. The time is going to be influential, that is for sure.
Yes, certainly is. 4 for jumping, 1 for time for our last competitor in, Lucy Shanahan for Ireland. Well, now the turn of France, and this is Fiona Tizier and All-Star combination that were the very first pony and rider to come into the arena for the team competition on Friday afternoon. And they are away over that big, wide Oxer to start. Combination that bring forward 24 penalties in total from the first 4 rounds. That ascending spread there before coming down towards the first of the combination fences.
My goodness, doesn't this pony try? Really gets in the air. Certainly the best round they've jumped so far, and the bigger the fences get, the bigger this pony jumps. Gone down there on the 6 short strides. There's optional for these riders, 5 or 6. It is 6 short. Walk the course with a number of the riders and chef de keeps and trainers, talking to Fiona Hobby, sister of Tina Fletcher, earlier on, walking around, and she said this is short down here. A number of the riders deciding to go short down there, but if the time is tight, I think we may see some go down there on the 5. She's just going to get inside that time, 66.52, very, very close indeed, but a great clear round for France.
Really rising to the occasion. All-Star jumping these rounds better and better as he has gone on, with just 4 faults from that first round. This morning stays on a total of 24. Fiona Tizier and All-Star for France. Well, now the second pony and rider forwards from Italy, with a score of 24 also from the first 4 rounds. Bianca Chiocco and Safia de Cormay.
Well, through this treble combination, having the first part and the back rail on the treble, that is going to be certainly the bogey fence. But I think that clear round from Fiona Tizier for France will certainly breed a little bit of confidence into the collecting ring. We haven't had a clear round. That was our first. It took 4 riders before we saw our clear round. But it's not an easy track. Mark McGowan has set, once again, a fabulous championship course. Front rail of the Oxer going as well at 8. So carrying 12 penalties as they come to the last. The time is good. She's made up the time, but the front rail. That is the risk as well. 16 it is, total of 16 jumping penalties, is that if you go too quickly, then the ponies get a little bit flat, a little bit low over the fences, and you risk having those fences down. It's going to be a masterful round. We saw that round from Fiona Tizier that jumped clear inside the time. She was only just inside the time, 48/100ths of a second inside the time. But if we watch the riders that come later on, it's going to be nip and tuck all the way.
So Bianca Di Chiocco and Safia Cormay, the 5th combination to come forwards in this reverse order second round for the individual show jumping competition. Well, we move to France again, and we move this time to Liane Desmure. Liane Desmure riding Madame Christine Ferrand's Twinkle Toes à Loin by Zodiac SL. Twinkle Toes à Loin with Liane Desmure, and they bring forwards also 24 from the first 4 rounds, and 12 of those penalties being incurred in the first round of the individual competition earlier this morning. Coming to this treble, and just not quite being able to make the back pole of that final element of that treble, of that Oxer.
The trouble is, when we see ponies having that treble combination down after the ascending spreads, we're going to see there's going to be a lot of thought in these young riders' minds as they come in. The mindset's going to play a huge part in the jumping rounds. We've had one clear round so far, but they'll come into the arena and that will be their worry fence. And you've got to just think about how you're riding it. The chef de keeps will be telling the riders how to ride it, but it's certainly going to be one of those fences. And again, so it is a total of 12 jumping, just inside the time allowed again of 67 seconds.
Yeah, and not also quite able to make the back pole of that last oxer. So 12 it is for Liane Desmieux and Twinkle Toes Aloin. Well, as Spencer said, just the one clear so far, and that is for France, Fiona Tizier and All Star. The first clear so far in this second round of the individual show jumping competition here at the FEI European Championships for pony at Bishop Burton College. Well, for the Netherlands now, Liv Hubrets and Enzovoort Dewdrop. They carry forwards 21 penalties from the first 4 rounds, 8 incurred in that first individual competition round this morning. Well, wherever you are in the world joining us, we are delighted that you're here. It promises to be a wonderful, continuing another wonderful day of competition here at the FEI Pony Europeans.
There it goes again.
Yeah, it does.
So carrying 8. As a rider, you'll be watching this course, you'll be watching the first few riders go, and that will certainly be playing a huge mental part on the riders, the treble combination. And that's where I think Mark McGowan has been incredibly clever. She's going to pick a time fault up as well. So it's 8 jumping and 1 time in 69.07, total of 9. Takes them on to 30. That is going into equal first place at the moment. In fact, goes into second. Our best score is Fiona Tissier with that clear round on 24 into equal second for the rider from the Netherlands.
8 for time, 8 for jumping, 1 for time for our last competitors from the Netherlands. Well, now the first competitor for Great Britain in this second round for the individual show jumping competition for Great Britain, Purdy Digby and Kaylee Starr. Well, on sparkling form, the British team, and just 4 faults in the first round for the individual competition. Purdy Digby and Kaylee Starr bringing forward a total of 20 for the first 4 rounds. And just a reminder that those 4 rounds were the first round itself on Thursday afternoon, and then the 2 rounds of the Nations Cup team competition on Friday afternoon. But the individual scores for the individual ponies and riders being totted up, and that's how we have our top riders coming forward. Initially, the top 29 came forward in the first round of this individual competition. Well, just not quite able to make the last element of that treble. So carrying 4 at the moment, Purdy Digby and Kaylee Starr for Great Britain.
It's a tough ask. It's upright and oxer after that the treble bar, and it's on a related distance as well. There's not much time in between 3 and 4. It comes early on in the show jumping round. When I spoke to Mark McGowan about it, he said this is going to be the same track more or less for the eventers that come later on, but he's not going to have that as a treble combination at 4 for the event riders, because he said it is early, and having jumped 1 round already, the show jumpers are warmed up and ready for that. But it's time. It's very close to the time, 66.73, 1 fence down, 4 penalties to add. They go into equal first place, but it'll come down to time. Will they go into the lead? They have gone into the lead, Purdy Digby and Kaylee Starr.
Well, just a reminder once again that time allowed is 67 seconds for this second round of jumping for the individual show jumping competition. So as Paddy Digby and Kaylee Starr leave the international arena here at Bishop Burton College, it's now the turn of Sweden, the first of our Swedish competitors to come forward, and it is Matilda Bolin and Miklas Aristocrat, the ninth combination to come forward in this reverse order second round for the individual competition. Well, another combination to bring forwards a total of 20 penalties from those first rounds, and another combination to bring forwards 4 from the last round, so 4 included from the first round this morning in that 20. Matilda Bolin and Miklas Aristocrat for Sweden.
Well, still only the one clear round from Fiona Tissier out of the first 8 to start. 27 combinations coming forward. We lost 2 from the first round that were eliminated. Very bold jump at the second. Now this line, the triple bar at 3. She wants to just steady down when she lands after this. Doesn't want too big an open stride. Stay on the open outside line. In well, 2 strides. And 1, and it goes again. This is going to worry those that are still to come. And also the Liverpool goes, that's a total of 8. They really are magnificent, aren't they, these ponies? 1.40 m the maximum height, 1.45 m is the maximum width of the oxers. These are 2 very big oxers at 8, 2 strides between the 2. Will be Wonder Pony there in the picture. Chosen charity of the Bishop Burton College FEI Pony European Championships. Such a worthy charity as well. And the last goes, so it is a total of 12 in 62.74. Well, as I mentioned, you want the time, 67 seconds. It's a quick time. They finish on 32, going to 5th place over the 5 rounds. But you go for the time, you push on for the time, you risk having a fence down. They're 1.40 m, you can't go too fast. It's nearly jump off speed, but you've got to be careful as well. It's a very, very, very well built track.
Well, now our second rider forwards for Germany. 2 German riders to come forwards in succession. Burkhard Gronig in the arena now, to be followed by Johanna Beckman. But the turn, first of all, of Burkhard Gronig on this Oldenburg Chessie 18. And they are away. Total of 20 penalties to bring forwards to this second round. Yet again, the third and final part of that treble going down of the front and back poles. Coming down to these big oxers in front of the VIP marquee. Well, no problem at all there, beautifully over that double of oxers. And the last going as well. So 8 it is. 8 faults within the time. 8 faults for Germany's Burkhard Gronig and Chessie 18. So they finish on 28 and slots them into 3rd place in the standings at the moment. Well, now the second in succession of the team members from Germany. This is, though, the individual competition, and it is Johanna Beckman for Germany with the Chestnut Stallion Karim van Orkides. And their score 17 from those first 4 rounds. 4 of those penalties incurred in the first round of the individual competition, just rolling that 1 pole to give them 17 coming into this second round.
Yeah, just the one fence down from the last round. Be interesting to see how this pony jumps down here. 3 to 4. They're big, wide fences. Now the upright has the first part down, middle part down, and the last part down. It is the bogey fence. Oh dear. I have to say, when he jumped the first fence, I just wondered whether this stallion had lost a bit of confidence from the first round in the jumping. Just one fence down in that first round, but as they've gone on, he has lost a bit of confidence, and I think she's going to retire very sensibly, save him for another day. But that is a real shame. Just 9 years of age, they'll be back to fight another day, but this is why these riders are so very experienced. She knows that pushing on round the course, it could have got worse.
Well, now our 12th combination to come forward in this second round of the individual show jumping competition. For Belgium, it is Aaron Tishkins and Superbe de Leona. Chestnut mare, 12 years old. Total score of 16 from the first 4 rounds. 4 of those penalties incurred with that one roll pole in the last round. Well, Aaron Tuskins and Superbe Leleona just walking around, just waiting for the finishing touches to be put to the course. After our last competitor, we're now forward to the canter and ready to go. Aaron Tiskins for Belgium with Superbe de Leleona.
Yeah, we're hoping for a good round in the show jumping. Just lowered that one pole in the show jumping earlier this morning. They've had an hour's break before the second round. Let's see what he can make of this line, 3 to 4. Just about makes the back rail. It's a very wide triple bar. Using his body, it's very tall, jumps well through there. Just see him over the first parts of the treble. He really grew tall and just made the pony wait for him as he came down that line. Very good bit of riding. Lucky at 7. Now turning to the double of oxes at 8. Oh, just gets low over the second of those oxes. Fighting a little bit to the Dubarry fence at 9. Around the Liverpool to the final oxer. And jumps that well. Time is okay, 64.91 for Aaron Tiskins and Superbe de Leleona. They pick up 4. They finish on 20. That is the best score so far as we move down the field. We're coming to halfway in this second round.
So, 4 faults in each of the 2 rounds of this individual show jumping competition for Aaron Tiskins and Superbe de Leon. Well, now we move to Ireland, and the second of our Irish combinations to come forward in this second round. Katie Power with the Powers Equine Limited's Ghost Rider, this Irish sport horse. Greg Elding, 16 faults, 16 penalties they bring forward, having gone clear in that last round this morning. Those 16 penalties incurred over the first 3 rounds.
Over the first 4 rounds, yeah, she's jumped really well so far. Jumped a fabulous clear round in round 4. So this is round 5, the final round for the individual medals. Just missed out on the team medal Ireland on Friday. She's making a really good job of this over the 2 oxes now. Well, this is jumping really well. Clear in the first round. Is it going to be clear in the second? The time is okay. 67 seconds, the time allowed in this second round of the individual jumping. And she makes it clear round number 2, and we've waited a long time for another clear round. France have a clear round. Ireland now have a clear round. That will give the Irish camp a lot of confidence.
So Katie Power and Ghost Rider remain on those 16 penalties, having jumped a total of 5 rounds. And forwards now for Ireland, also carrying forward 16 in total, having gone clear in the first round of the individual competition this morning. Frances Derwin with Cool Ban Mistress, this grey mare by Silver Shadow. So, can we see another clear from the Irish? This time in the arena, Frances Derwin and Cull Ban Mistress.
Cull Ban Mistress and Frano Derwin. Frano, as he's known to his mates. Francis Derwin Jr., his father Francis Derwin, walked the course. I walked the course, some of the course with him as well. And he said, this is a big track, boy. And I said, I know. 1 metre 40. 1 metre 45, the width, the maximum width of these oxes. But they will have come here with a lot of preparation. They will have done their homework. Takes a wide turn to the treble, and I walked the outside line. He's gone wide, setting up. Watch his body. Oh, really struggled through there. This grey mare. 2 fences down, 8 penalties to add. I have to say, Katie Power rode that treble combination beautifully. I'm not saying that Frano Derwin didn't ride it beautifully. He did. The mare just struggled reading the questions. And it's a really big question down there. Gives the front part of that a really good rub, but it stays in the cups. And if you're watching, wherever you're watching, remember these names, because I'm sure we're going to see some of these names at Olympic Games in the future. Real talent in the saddle. 8 penalties there, just inside the time allowed of 67 seconds, 66.17, and 8 jumping.
So a total for the 5 rounds of 24 for Frances Derwin and Cull Ban Mistress. Well, now for Portugal, also carrying forward a total of 16 penalties to this final round. It is Molly Hughes Bravo and Carrick's Duff Pet. Another Irish sport horse to come forward. This black mare by Royal Touch. 10-year-old. Rolled a couple of poles in the first round this morning of the individual competition.
This mare's just struggled a little bit. She struggled a little bit this morning. Be interesting to see how she copes with this line, because she's a real fighter. Molly has a lot of work to do between the fences. Yeah, she just gains in the combination. She gained in the combinations in the first round, making it quite difficult for herself. Runs herself into a little bit of trouble. She's fine with the single fences. It's when there is a combination, and this is another combination coming up at 8. She lands and just scuttles along and makes the distances hard. Much better through there. Molly does ride her beautifully, because she's not easy.
Well, over the last, and fantastic to see Portugal represented here in this individual competition. A further 4 to add from this round leaves them on a total of 20 for the 5 rounds for Molly Hughes Bravo for Portugal. Well, now the 16th combination to come forward. We're just 2 away now from the top 10 in this reverse order for the second round of the individual show jumping competition. Belgium now in the arena. Martha van der Gorp with the Grey Stallion. Goliath van der Groenwijk by Conor McNessa out of Cusseen Finn. 14 their total to bring forward to this final round and importantly, they went clear in that last round, so that will have given them a lot of confidence.
Yeah, he jumped a fabulous clear round, but the trouble she has is his exuberance between the fences. Not only does she have to ride lines, but she also has to ride his little foibles. He just bucks and plays around, and it makes it difficult for her. She had the first part and the last part of that treble. You can see Mark McGowan down there. Oh, goodness me. So total of 12 now. Just stood off that water tray. It's giving him a little smack and saying, come on, we've got a lot of work to do still. He's quite objective to that. Beautifully through that double, and there you see he lands and gives the buck, and she has to then ignore what's going on underneath her completely to ride the lines and ride the strides. So carrying 12, and there will be a time fault as well. So it's 12 jumping, one time in 69.17. Total of 13 takes them on to 27.
Yeah, wonderful characters, these little ponies, but not always the easiest when you're jumping a course of this nature. Well, now for Great Britain, Hannah Barker and Amanvali Santino. Just the 4 faults in the last round means that they are on a total of 12 coming forwards into this final round. The British team on sparkling form, but Hannah, who rode as an individual in the team competition, comes forward as very much the local girl from the wonderfully experienced Barker show jumping family. Hannah Barker and Amanvali Santino for Great Britain.
It's going to be interesting now as we come down into the final 10. We're in the top 10 now. Lying in 10th place, Amanvali Santino, Hannah Barker. Lying in 11th place, we've got 10 left to go. Beautifully ridden through that treble combination. She knows her pony very well. Knew exactly what she had to do. This will give confidence to the British camp as well. Well, one problem out of the way. This is, for me, the next problem. The 2 big oxers at 8. 1.40 m in height, 1.45 wide. Both of those oxers, she's jumped through there very well. Amanvali Santino jumping out of his skin. Giving her everything. And a lovely clear round, 64.32. Hannah Barker, Amanvali Santino jumped the 3rd clear round. They stay on 12 penalties. That won't do their chances any harm whatsoever.
What a round from Hannah Barker and Amanvali Santino. Well, with the poles coming down, as Spencer said, that will do them no harm whatsoever. Superb round, Hannah Barker. Well, now for Germany. It is Leah Sophia Gut and Fairy Tale 33, this Oldenburg Bay mare. 12 their score to come forwards to this final round. And another of the few clears in that first round as they are on their way. Leah Sophia Gut and Fairy Tale for Germany.
First part, middle part. Leaves the last part, but there's 8 jumping to add for Leah Sophia Gut. We've had 3 clear rounds. 1 for France, 1 for Ireland, 1 for Great Britain. They will rise up that leaderboard. Certainly Hannah Barker will be holding her breath now, knowing that this is causing trouble. Very lucky jumping into the double at 8. Just manipulates the canter, making sure she gets the stride before she comes to the final fence. Time is absolutely fine. and clears the last, but the treble playing its part again. But the two parts of the treble, the first part and the second part of the treble, hit the floor. Total of 8 jumping. They finish on 20, and that drops them down currently into 3rd place.
Well, Leah Sophie Gut and Fairy Tale 33 were the first of the top 10 to come forward in this reverse order for the individual jumping competition, the individual show jumping competition here at the FEI European Championships for Ponies 2018 at Bishop Burton College here in East Yorkshire. And we move to the Netherlands, and Pam Nieuwenhuis and Zep van der Isdijk is Bay Stallion by Zodiac, and they come forward also with a total of 12 from the first 4 rounds, and that 1-row pole in the first of the individual rounds this morning, a little earlier this morning. Just nudging the back bar of that first big oxer, but it stays. That's what matters.
Cheeky little monkey.
Yes, we were talking about the character of these ponies.
7 strides down to the treble. She got the 7 strides. I think that plays an important part, and it goes to show that they come on those 7. It's on the it's on a curving line around there. We walked that distance. I walked that with Francis Derwin from Ireland, Francis Derwin Senior, not Francis Derwin Junior. And we walked that a couple of times on the 7, and there is an option to go inside or outside on that curving line, but you keep it regular, keep it rhythmical down there, you stand a much better chance of jumping that treble as it's supposed to be jumped. Nicely through the double at 8 and over the DeBarry fence at 9, just the last fence to jump. 67 seconds time allowed. She's absolutely fine on the time. Can she jump the last? She can, and a clear round. Great round. She's absolutely delighted with that. They stay on 12. Currently goes into the lead.
Yeah, a huge cheer from the Dutch team, the Dutch supporters and connections. So they stay on 12 and put themselves in a handy position as now the turn of Denmark and Maria Nørgaard Langhoff and Nicolina. And what a great story this is. Nicolina, 21 years young, and looking as young as ever in his 10th European Pony Championships. This time with Maria Nørgaard Langhoff in the saddle. They have a total of 8, and unfortunately the total of 8 over the first 4 rounds incurred in the first round of the individual competition this morning, just rolling those 2 poles.
This mare is something else. 7th consecutive European Championships for this mare, and 10 European Championships in total. We think nearly a record. It may well be a record for Pony at European Championships. She's jumped fabulously. Just let herself down in the second round. She had a toe in the water and 1 fence down. On the whole, she jumps. Well, look at her get herself out of trouble in the middle of that treble. Absolutely turned herself inside out to make sure she didn't hit a pole. How lucky these children are, young riders, to have experienced mounts. These ponies are just incredible. They go from team to team, family to family, nation to nation. Oh, Nicolina has the rail down going into the double at 8. Just to go to show that she is human after all. And inside the time allowed, it's 1 fence down. 63.98 takes their score on to 12 as well.
So the 21-year-old Nicolina at that last fence, jumping it beautifully, showing how much she still has left in her. So we move on to the next competitor for Great Britain, already in the arena. And Shawnee Grieg just looking around, just making sure that she knows exactly the path she is going to take between these fences. Shawnee Grieg for Great Britain, and Casino Royal, part of that gold medal winning team on Friday afternoon. 4 faults it is, 4 faults in total that they bring forward, having gone clear earlier this morning.
Well, this is where the competition really starts to hot up, because 4 faults could win the gold with the influential fences and the influential course that Mark McGowan has set here at Bishop Burton College for the European Pony Eventing Championships. This is the bogey fence in 2 strides. Upright it goes. And the last part just takes the back rail with them as well. 145 in width. So that's a total of 8. It won't be gold for Shawnee Grigg. It won't be a medal either, I don't think. It's very close at the top. We're now down into the top 7. We have 2 on 0, 1 on 4, and these riders are now coming forward on 4 penalties, and it could go to any one of them. Or just the last to jump. Time is absolutely fine. Clears the last. 8 jumping penalties, 62.36. They go on to 12 penalties. I should think that will go into the lead at the moment because it was a fast round, and it does. Shawnee Grigg, Casino Royale for Great Britain. Well, France, Ireland, Great Britain, Sweden, Sweden, Great Britain. That's what we're looking forward to in the final 6 to jump.
Yep, and although this is not against the clock, a faster round with parity of score in terms of faults will mean that the faster round will go ahead of the other. Well, now France, 4 faults in total, clear in that first round this morning. Romain Ohant and Kwamba de Monceau, this Bay Stallion.
So although this is the final 6, if we do tie on medal positions, and it's only if we tie on medal positions, gold, silver or bronze, and they're on the same score, there will be a jump off for the medals. So it could all go down to the wire. Beautifully through the treble, made that look very easy.
Well, the first part of that double going. So 4 it is, getting very close into the Dubarry upright, but trying his hard out and clearing that upright. The Space Stallion, Kwamba de Monceau. And beautifully out over that final fence. So the 1 roll pole. 4 it is, total of 8, and putting them into first place. So they are in that first place at the moment. That 1 roll pole to add to the 4 penalties earlier. A total of 8 for Romain Ohant and Kwamba de Monceau.
That is the score to beat at the moment. 8 jumping penalties. We go to the final 5. Max Watchman and Cuffs Grange at Cavalier Dam for Ireland. Clear in the last round. They bring forward 4 penalties over the last 4 rounds. This is round 5. The Watchman brothers, part of their team. Tom, unfortunately, eliminated in the first round this morning. Cian O'Connor training the Irish will have certainly told them how to ride this combination, and what a job he's done.
Wow, through there.
Absolutely airborne in that treble combination at the European Championships 2018. Plank, related distance down to 7. Now the double. Ooh, come on, got a lot of work to do. He really tried through there. This mare answering his questions, he really worked. The time is okay, come on Ireland. And jumps the last. What a round indeed. 63.62 the time, inside that time allowed. Ireland finish on forward. Max Watchman, great round for them.
So Max Watchman and Kathgrain Cavalier have really laid the gauntlet down. A total of 4 with that double clear. What a magnificent couple of rounds for the Irish rider Max Watchman. Well, now the turn for Great Britain once again, and Claudia Moore. Claudia Moore forwards with Katrina Moore's Orlando van der Rooshoff. Again, a combination that bring forward a total of 4 from the first 3, having gone clear in the fourth round earlier this morning.
Well, I expect a very nervous Claire Whitaker, chef de keep of the British team, with 2 in quick succession in 4th and lying in the lead. What can Claudia Moore do? Pull down in that treble. So that is 4 to add. They move on to 8. So Max Watchman moves up. It's going to be very tight. I'm getting a little bit nervous, I have to say, with the last 3 to go. Sweden, Great Britain. Sweden with 1 rider on 1 and 1 rider on 0. Great Britain with 1 rider on 0 as well. Gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal. They'll be decided in a few ponies' time. Just the 1 fence down it is for Claudia Moore. Orlando van der Rooshoff. They finish on a total of 8 and go into 2nd place at the moment.
So we have 3 to come forwards. Sweden, Great Britain, as Spencer called it, and the first to come forward for Sweden, Fanny Kulmur and Vox Pop de Lund, this grey stallion by Glenrie de Lund. They bring forward just 1 penalty from the previous 4 rounds, having gone clear this morning. Well, can they go clear? But as we said as well, the odd time penalty could be massively influential, but they will be aiming to keep up all these fences.
Well, hold on to your seats, everybody. The final 3. At the moment, we have 2 riders on 8 penalties in the silver medal position. That is Roman Orant and Claudia Moore. Max Watchman currently in gold medal on 4 penalties. There's going to be some nervous riders out there in the treble middle. And the second part, the last part goes. They're now on 5. Very cross with that fence down as well. This stallion. Very cross. Oh dear, that's put paid to their chances of a medal. They're on 9 now. 8 from the 2nd round this morning. So total of 9. 1 time penalty as well. 2 fences down, 1 time penalty and 1 time penalty to add. They finish on a total of 10. Takes them into 4th place. They drop down from their bronze medal position. The current leaderboard is Max Watchman in gold on 4. In joint silver, Rowan Orhant and also Claudia Moore. There is that leaderboard. 2 on 8. They will jump off if they need to. But our producer-director, and he's not listening to us, but producer-director Jamie Hawksfield thinks this is our gold medalist. Ocean Desas and Ingemar Hammerstrom jumped fabulously over the last 4 rounds. They've not had a pole down. I do not want to jinx this. Wow. Airborne. And how careful is this pony? Watchman is on 4, yes. So clear so far. The bogey fence out of the way. The next double, 8. He's going to put the pressure on the last to go, Nicole Lockhead-Anderson. We may well have a jump off for bronze, but it looks like Max Watchman could be secured of that bronze medal if Ingemar can just jump home. He's got one fence left to jump. The time is good. The time is very good. And jumps the last. He is guaranteed of a medal. Will it be gold? Will it be silver? We've got one pony left to tell us that. Nicole Lockhead-Anderson is the last to go. Gangnam Style for Great Britain. But this young man, Ingemar Hammerstrom and Ocean Desaz, has jumped to clear round. Sweden, they were silver medalists in the team competition and could well be silver medalists, if not gold, in the individual. This round, in about a minute and a half's time, we will know who is the gold medalist at this FEI Pony European Championships 2018.
So forwards for Great Britain, and the final combination to come forwards in this second round of the individual show jumping competition at the FEI European Pony Championships. For Great Britain, Nicole Lockhead-Anderson and Gangnam Style the second. They are clear coming into this fifth and final round.
It's a pony I wish wasn't last to go, because it gives me nerves watching him go around the course. He's very, very keen to get on with his job, and Nicole has to do a masterful bit of riding to steer him around. He fights all the way. He's keen to get on with his job, but what he does do is jump, and we're hoping he jumps round here. Oh, no! Gold has gone to Sweden. Now it depends if she can jump home with 4 penalties. We're going to have a jump off for the silver medal. That is for sure. She needs to jump home clear now. Gold has definitely gone to Sweden's Ingemar Hammerstrom, Ocean Desas. The only clear in the 5 rounds. Oh, she's on 8. Now 12. It's going to be a jump off for... Oh dear. It's all gone wrong. 16 jumping penalties. She's going to jump the last. What a disappointment for this young lady. And the last goes just to add insult to injury. 20 jumping penalties it is. The gold was within her grasp, but it is 11th place. We go down to the leaderboard, and it's going to be a jump off for bronze. Jump off for bronze. The Swedish team, though, they were silver medalists, now individual gold medalists here at the Pony Europeans. But we're going to jump off for that bronze medal. It's Claudia Moore and Rowan Orant. So we have a look at that leaderboard. It is gold for Ingemar Hammerstrom, Ocean Desas for Sweden. Silver, Max Watchman, Cuffsgrange, Cavaladam on 4 penalties. But we're going to jump off for that bronze medal. Roman Orant and Cobar de Monceau, and also Claudia Moore, Orlando van der Reserve. Well, they will be in the arena very shortly. There is a jump off course. That will be set now by our course designer, Mark McGowan, in a few seconds' time. I think we may even have an arena rake. I'm not sure what the procedure is. We'll find that out very quickly. But it is very exciting news for Sweden. Sweden are the individual gold medalists here at the FEI Pony European Championships. Silver medal to Ireland. Well, they missed out on a team silver, team bronze in the team competition. It was a very closely fought competition, and it was less than 1 second that split the 2 teams. France eventually finishing in that bronze medal position. Max Watchman, it is, Cuffsgrange, Cavaladam, they finish in silver, and we're going to have a very exciting jump off now for the bronze. So the course just being set for the jump off, and it will be the fastest round that wins the jump off, and the course will start similarly over 1, 2, then the first part of the treble combination will disappear. You can just see to the left hand side of your screen disappearing. 4BC, 7, 8B on its own, 9 and 10. Well, let's just go down to the collecting ring and catch up with Lizzie Greenwood-Hughes. Well, apologies about that. We'll try and go back to Lizzie down in the collecting ring. I think she's got the gold medalist down there, but we just had a slight problem with the camera. Well, the course, as I said, being set, it is fences at 1-2, same as before. The fence right in front of you. Not sure why 1 is going. They've taken number 1 away, but that should be in the course according to our list here.
What we're being told, yeah.
It may have changed, but it is fence 1, 2, 4BC, 7, 8B, 9, 10. We'll just clarify this because it looks like they've taken that number 1 away. The first part of the treble is going, that's for sure. So that just at 4B and 4C. Lots of people running around. They have an... In fact, they've got a number 12 there. We don't have a number 12 on our list. We'll try and get you that jump-off list just as soon as we can. They might be starting over this fence. It looks like the start flags are going there. So I think everything's set now, and we've got communication back, so we'll hand back over to Lizzie Greenwood-Hughes.
Thank you, Spencer. I've got a very happy Max Watchman and a very happy trainer, Cian O'Connor. I'm going to start with you first, Max. Silver medal, that was just a wonderful ride in there, and you had to kind of come from above, as it were, to get into the medals.
Yeah, my mare, she jumped her heart out. Really helped me out this week, and she's jumped really good, so I'm really happy now.
There's been a lot of jumping. You really had to hold your nerve when a few others didn't quite make it through.
Yeah. Well, I never thought coming in that I was going to win a medal, but I thought hopefully if I jumped two clear runs, I'd be inside the top 10, and that's what I was aiming for. And then this is just brilliant.
Any hairy moments in that second round?
The combination, I was a bit far off the oxer coming out. I thought maybe she'd have it, but she was really good and showed how scopy she was.
And the one masterminding your success, or one of the people, but I guess you're the trainer, aren't you, Cian, of the Watchman brothers. What was it like for you watching him in there? What did you say to him before he went in for his round?
Yeah, we have a good team around us. We have a great team, a great crew from the grooms, and Ross Mulholland, who also coaches the lads, so it's a big team effort, but I'm actually more emotional now than if I won myself. Really?
Bless you, you're going to cry, aren't you?
So proud of him.
You really did absolutely nail it, because that was a seriously tough course. I mean, I was talking to Mark McGowan in between all the rounds actually here in the show jumping, and he had done all kinds of things to make it as difficult as possible for these young riders, and they just somehow, they look like professionals.
Yeah, it's hard to believe in how big these ponies can jump. Like, out of the combination was long and it was big and wide. They jumped it very easily, so it was great. Fantastic.
Thank you for going there. But Max, you look as cool as a cucumber.
I'm really happy. Can't really believe it.
What about your brother Tom? Where's he?
He's around here somewhere.
So, because obviously he hasn't won a medal, but in the individual. But you know, did he say anything to you?
Yeah, he shook my hand and said well done, and he's really happy as well.
And yeah, will he get yours when you grow out of it? Because you're a bit taller than him and older as well, aren't you?
Yeah, he'll ride her then. Next year, the year after, whenever we just yeah.
Is this your last year in ponies?
No, I have next year as well.
Wow, so Cian, more success, gold next year?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Tom did very well as well, so he'll have his time as well.
No, he really did, and obviously really unfortunate for him with his round. I know he looked pretty emotional as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard, isn't it, because without sounding rude, Max, you're just kids, aren't you?
Yeah, it's out of your control, you know, you do all the work, but these guys, you mentioned they're like professionals. They are, they work like professionals, they train like professionals, and we try to teach them like that, to ride the ponies, so that there's no big change when they go into juniors and hopefully into seniors in the future. But it's been a great journey. I started with them last August. It would have been a long price then for a medal.
And you've given up being in Dublin to be here with these boys, haven't you, this weekend?
Yeah, it's important to help them.
All right, I'm going to let you go. I can't put you through any more torture. Congratulations to you, Cian, as the trainer, and you, Max Watchman. Individual silver. I'm going to see if I can find the Swedish boy who won the gold, but congratulations. So, Spencer, I'm going to hand back to you while I go and find the Swedish.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lizzie. It's great to catch up with Cian O'Connor. Cian O'Connor, the trainer of the Irish team, and with Max Watchman, individual silver. I mean, what it means to these young riders, it's enormous, and the pressure that they're under when they come into the show jumping round is immense, and they cope with it so very well. Young heads on young shoulders, but very mature indeed. We'll be having this jump off very shortly, and it's two riders coming forward for the FEI Pony European. Bronze medal, they're fighting it out for the bronze medal. And it's going to be very exciting. Very, very tough course that Mark McGowan has once again set. And here are those two. And it's one for France, one for Great Britain. Romain Orant and Quabard de Mousseux and Claudia Moore and Orlando van der Reserve. Those two will be jumping off. First to go for France, and then Claudia Moore will be the second out on course. We're just a few moments away from the jump off, just giving them a little bit of time to warm up and get ready in preparation for this jump off. But the gold medal is already certain. The gold medal is gone, the silver medal is gone, but with two riders finishing on the same score, we jump off those two riders in jump off style, and it will be the fastest round against the clock that will clinch that bronze medal. Nerve-wracking for these young riders. It's not a situation that you really want to get yourself into, but they will be hungry for individual bronze. And as I said, the individual silver has already gone to Max Watchman. The individual gold has gone to Ingemar Hammerstrom. Ocean Desaz, they jumped 5 clear rounds over the last few days, and they have cemented that gold medal, and really worthy gold medalists for Sweden. There is the first to jump in this jump off, the French rider. It is Romain Orant and Quabard de Mousseux. Well, hopefully that will be the last pole they have down in the warm-up. It's interesting, when we ride our ponies and our horses, actually it's quite good to have a fence down in the warm-up and just sharpen your ponies up before you go in. And often you have a fence down and you say, okay, I'm going in now, because they then learn. They need a conscience, these ponies, and you need to think, okay, I've had that fence, now I'm going to go in, and hopefully that will be my last fence. There is the rider from Great Britain, Claudia Moore. She riding Orlando van der Reserve, this 14-year-old mare. And I think down in the warm-up is Lizzie Greenwood-Hughes, and she is grabbing someone down there to have a chat with before we start with this jump off. Claudia Moore there. What is going through this young rider's head? She is a very cool Claire Whitaker, the chef de keep of the pony team. Very, very experienced team. There is Lizzie Greenwood-Hughes with the gold medalist, but we don't have chance to talk to our gold medalist at the moment, because the first in for France, it is Romain Orant and Quabard de Mousseux. They're on a total of 8. Romain Orant, Quabard de Mousseux for France, the first to go in this individual jump off for the bronze medal. So here we go. And it is fence 1. Onto the uprights at 2. Ooh! My goodness me. Well, that could be expensive, because it's going to come down to time as well. There's a lot of pressure on these young riders' heads. Just 4B, 4C. Jumps well out of there. Inside the first fence. Gallops now down towards 7. Just the last part of 8. Stands well off that. Has that rail down. She's on 8 penalties. The Dubarry fence, 9. And now just the last. This green oxer jumps that well. Stops the clock, 52.73. But 2 fences down. 52.73 and a total of 8. Takes them on to 16. Well, that a disappointing round. Now the last to jump. Will it be a bronze medal to add to the team gold for Claudia Moore and Orlando van der Reserve? Currently on 8 points. She can afford to have 1 fence down, but no more. Yes, been corrected in my ear. She could have 2 fences down and go faster. As long as she doesn't have a refusal, she can have 2 fences down, finish on 16, as long as she's faster than 52.73. Jumps well through the double, the British show jumping double. Come on, Claudia. Britain are behind you. She's ridden a really sensible round. She's not gone too quickly. She can afford to have these last 2 fences. If she jumps this, she has the bronze. She has the bronze, barring a catastrophe at the last. The time is irrelevant now, and she jumps a clear round. It's a bronze for Great Britain. Great Britain's Claudia Moore, Elando van der Roosova. She clinches the bronze medal. It's gold to Sweden, silver to Ireland, and bronze to Great Britain. Great Britain have had a fabulous championships here at Bishop Burton College for the 2018 FEI Pony European Championships. It was gold in the team, it's now bronze in the individual, and Claudia Moore, Elando van der Roosova clinches that bronze medal, and what a competition we've had. Well, I think Lizzie Greenwood-Hughes is now down in the collecting ring with, I presume and I think, our gold medalist.
I have Ingemar Hammerström with me. Congratulations, individual gold medal. That was a wonderful round. In fact, the whole competition for you has been pretty special, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was really good. I'm super happy about it.
Not a single fence all the way through?
No, the pony was really good, and we had good days, so it was perfect.
Were there any things in there that worried you? Because that was a very difficult course, wasn't it?
I saw it was a lot of faults on the combination, on the triple combination, but when I'm riding, I don't think so much about it.
What's your background, Ingemar? Because you look like you are a 35-year-old Olympic rider. You're so professional, the way you sit, your hands are beautiful. How long have you been riding, and what is your story?
I have been riding since like I started competing when I was like 10 or something. But I have also ridden 2 Europeans before this, so I have a bit of confidence in these courses.
You have experience, and you're 15 now, so you've only been riding 5 years. That's actually not very long, really, is it?
No, but I've been riding a little bit before that also. So.
Okay, well look, well done to you. You have been absolutely fabulous. Congratulations. And it's going to be the medal ceremony soon, so I'm going to see if I can find the bronze medalist. But congratulations, Ingemar Hammerström. We are going to hear your name again and again because you are a star of the future. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, we'll leave you now with the wonderful sights of the main arena. We're going to now try and find Claudia Moore. We hope that we'll get her to interview with Lizzie Greenwood-Hughes, our bronze medalist for Great Britain. Here is the final result. Ingemar Hammerström, Ocean Desaz, the gold medalist for Sweden. Silver to Ireland. Max Watchman and Cuffs Grange, Cavalier Dam on just 4 penalties. The bronze goes to Great Britain's Claudia Moore and Elando van der Roosova. They jumped clear in that jump off, 50.34, just carrying 8 penalties from that jump from the first round. And Romain Orphant with Quabar de Monceau in 4th place. Sweden 5th, Great Britain 6th, Denmark 7th, and Great Britain in 8th place as we wait for the medal ceremony here at the FEI Pony European Championships. It's Bishop Burton College for the 2nd time. First championships held here back in 2010. Just waiting for news on whether or not we have got Lizzie Greenwood-Hughes with our bronze medalist, as the final preparations are being made in the arena, the podium just being driven around to put in position. So just whilst we wait for the medal ceremony, we'll leave you to enjoy the wonderful sights here. We'll be back in a few moments' time.
Okay.
Hello then. Well, I've got Claudia's mum and dad here who just must be so pleased. I mean, I know we've already had the gold medal in the team, but it's somehow a bit more special when she's on her own because she had to really hold her nerve, didn't she?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It puts a lot of pressure on them, and you know, poor Nicole going last. It's such a shame for her. So.
And what was it like for you watching, Dad? I mean, were you kind of jumping every fence?
Yeah, absolutely, every fence. Like you say, it's so intense for the children, and they do it in reverse order. So the pressure really builds, and I know how important it is to jump her clear. And when Claude's had a fault in the second round, then you think then your chances of maybe getting a medal or being in the shake-up have gone, and then it pans out that you're in the jump off. And fortunately, we had the advantage of the draw, and yeah, then she had to go in and hold her nerve again to jump her clear. So yeah, nerve-wracking, but a fabulous feeling afterwards.
As parents of these pony riders, you have to put so much in financially, time-wise. I mean, you're schlepping all over the country, aren't you, driving her about. It must be such a kind of investment for you that when you see something like this, you think, oh, it's all been worthwhile.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, it is a lot of commitment to your time as much as anything, because you have to do the trials, you have to get the children experience, and it's
yeah, and
very
I think
worthwhile.
also so much goes into what is only at best 60 seconds in the ring. You know, it's not like a game of football. You make a mistake and you've got 90 minutes to recover. You make one fault and it can be so damaging. So yeah, it's intense, but the highs are so high. So you know,
and they can be pretty low. Sometimes it goes
low. Yeah,
that's horses, isn't it?
Yes, that's horses completely. So you have to really enjoy these moments, and hope that get an opportunity to come back and have a go and have another go.
And I don't want to set you off, but Gran's watching at home, isn't she?
Yes, she is. Yeah, Katrina's mother. Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Gran. We're thinking of you, and you've got a wonderful granddaughter. Well done to you too.
Thank you very much.
And enjoy the medal ceremony. A special moment.
Thank you.
We've done gold.
take it away, top 10, that's our 4th to 10th place riders, ponies and champions. And so this is a moment that probably these children have only ever had to dream about. It is the stuff of dreams because they are our bronze, silver and gold medalists. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for bronze medalists for Great Britain, great jump up rider, Claudia Moore with Katrina Moore's Orlando Van der Our new 2018 silver medalist for Ireland, Max Watchman, Cup Strange, Carvalho down. And finally, maintaining a phenomenal clean sweep, no faults, no penalties, an immaculate performance, and our 2018 European champion, Johanna Beckman. Now come on, where are the smiles? It's not that serious, this is it, you don't have any more to do. So now we invite our riders to dismount. Thank you. Right then, Claudia. So, as we welcome the President of the Crown Jury, Carsten Sorley, and the Principal of the Bishop Burton College, Bill Meredith, to present the medals, we invite our bronze medalist, 2018, for Great Britain, Claudia Moore, riding Orlando Van der onto the podium. That's a big smile. We'll get more out of you before we finish. And our silver medalist for Ireland, Max Watchman, Cup Strange, Cavaladian. What a brilliant performance that was. And now, the moment that not only the nation of Sweden has been waiting for, but certainly this young man, our new 2018 gold medalist and European pony champion, Ingvar Hammerstrom, with Océan des. With a few more moments on those podiums. Would you all like to stand up together for a photo, all on the top box? Go on. I'm sure Sweden will let you up there. Go on. Two boys and Claudia Sporley for the boys. Big cheesy grins now. Go on, that's it. Great. Well done. thank you for that. Back to your podium positions, because now we are going to stand, please, everybody, for the national anthem of Sweden. Well, lovely moment, and we now invite you to return to your ponies. Please get on the right pony, and we will have, of course, the fun of the lap of honour, time to really celebrate these new European champions.
And by this fence. You want me to do a closer when they gallop round, don't you?
Thank you also to our members of the Holderness branch of the Pony Club, who are working really hard for us here, coming forward at the prize giving ceremony and for doing the flags. So now, can we invite our new 2018 gold medalist, Ingmar Hammerstrom of FEI, to lead on the lap of honour. Silver medal, Max Watchman for Ireland. Bronze medal, Claudia Moore for Great Britain.
Well, as they gallop round this international arena here at Bishop Burton College, they can be rightly proud of the way they have performed over the last few days here in this show jumping competition. I think it's something like 5 or 6 rounds they've jumped. Ingmar Hammerstrom, who won the gold medal, hasn't had a single fence down. He is a name that we should all be looking out for in the future. It's been a brilliant show jumping competition, but there's more action to come here from these European Championships for ponies. We have the eventing show jumping, the finale of the eventing that's coming up in around an hour's time at 1:30 here, and the fence or the course is going to stay the same. The fences will come down a few holes, but the course is going to stay the same. So join us then 1:30 for the eventing competition, the final of that, where the medals will be won. But from us in the show jumping, congratulations to all of our medal winners, and it's goodbye for now.